Welcome to Work Made Human. My name is Ramel Wallace, and I am the Senior Community Manager here at BAM.
Hey, Ramel. I am Jill Veglahn. I'm the head of people here at BAM. And today we're going to talk a little bit about BAM, which traditionally on this podcast, we're having conversations with other people, whether they're CEOs, founders, CMOs, CHROs, chief people officers, and we're talking to them about what makes work human from their perspective. But we are in we're doing a little BAM stuff today. So we're going to talk about us. And one of the first things that comes to mind when we're talking about work and why people stay, what keeps people around, especially now where the expectation is that you're no longer going to go to a place like my parents. I don't know about your parents, your grandparents, where my dad had his job. He stayed in that job for 30 plus years till he retired and then retired, and that was it. Was the same for your parents, like, or anyone you know in your family where they had the one gig or the one track and did that?
Yeah, my grandma was working in the kitchen, and my mom she just always worked in like Scripps or Sharp. That was her destination. So it was almost like the family kingdom in the background. It's like that's where you go.
Yeah. And it's just that one path. It's that one lane. You stay in that lane. You do that start to finish. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the main thing you do. You don't really evolve into something else too much or that's too different.
Yeah.
And I see the workplace kind of changing a lot from that direction where people have access to so much technology. They have access to evolving in so many different ways. So you have to really check in to see where people are at and what they're learning.
Yeah, that. And something that when we're recruiting, and typically my co-host on the podcast is Nicole Mendez, a director of talent acquisition, both of our dear friends and colleague. When she's recruiting, something that would stand out to her and would stand out to the rest of us looking at a resume is if someone was somewhere too long, right? Like, why were they there for 10 years? Like, that's almost like a question mark now, which is wild, the way that has flipped. Because before, that was the goal. The goal was the longer you were somewhere, the more desirable. And really what we're paying attention to, which you just hit the nail on the head, is what are you learning? Like, so if someone's somewhere for 10 years, cool, but what was their progression? Did they stay in the same role for 50% of that time? Are we saying that they were getting promoted? Were they, now the term is like upskilling? Were they learning new skills, right? That's super, super important now in today's world. So that's, it's just interesting. And something that's happening at BAM that Beck, our CEO, talks about is work of a lifetime, people of a lifetime. Right? You've heard her talk about how we kind of want to bring back the old school, but make it new school and have people want to stick around. Like that's something we're trying to do now, which we have a young team, you know, we've got younger people. So it's a big ask to try to get people to want to stick around with us for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. What is your take on that? What are your thoughts on sticking around somewhere longer?
I remember when I first got into just work in general, that was something that I was frightened of. I would get into a workplace, say Scripps or Sharp, and I'd meet people that were there for like 20 years.
And for you, that was a scary thing. That was like, oh, hell no. Like, I don't want to be that person.
Yeah, I think there's like an ick attached to it.
Yeah.
When you first start to see people that have been doing that for so long and they haven't been evolving in all the ways that they could be at work. But it's cool to be at BAM and see the evolution go so far that it kind of turns on itself. Nicole, in recruiting and talking to her, because she's the recruiter for BAM, we noticed that a lot of people know that they can move higher up faster if they jump from company to company.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like in the research. So, you know, that's like the quickest way to get a promotion or more money is to leave the company you're at and go somewhere else, which is really unfortunate, to be fair. Like, it feels like I'm not a fan of that truth, but it is true.
Yes. But when you're at a company and you stay a little longer, you see how much can be lost, whether that's information or just trust in general. There's so much information that gets lost every time someone leaves. It's like, oh, no, they had this, they had this document, or they had this information, or they knew how the company ran, and the evolution of how it's changed and the values and why. They
Yeah,
have so much knowledge, and so keeping those people at the company not only for that information that's so senior, but also because trust compounds over time. When
absolutely.
you work with someone
Absolutely.
for a long time, you
And
can
we're seeing
trust.
that because we have a pretty strong tenure at BAM. I want to say the average uh, life cycle of a team member at BAM is between 5 and 6 years right now, which for having majority millennial and Gen Z is impressive given the demographic of our team. It's impressive. And we have a team member who's been with us for 11 plus years, not including her internship. Myself, I'm at 9 years, going on 10. I'm at 9. I'm sorry, I'm just about to hit 9. And are you at 6 or 7?
I'm at maybe, I want to say 7. I want
Yeah,
to say 7. Yeah, going
yeah.
on.
Which that I mean, for a guy who was afraid of being at scripts for 20 years, you're almost halfway there. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
What do you think makes people stay?
Well, that I mean, that's a great question and a great segue because something I do want to talk about and something I am really proud of bringing to BAM. I can't remember when it hit me. It's been several years, but I was reading an article on exit interviews and what a tragedy it is to get, to your point, you get all this information in an exit interview. It's like someone's opportunity to just let it all out. So they're going to tell you all the stuff, all the warts, good, bad, ugly, and you get it, and it's valuable. And hopefully, as an organization, you'll take it seriously and make some change or do something with that information. I don't know the data on how serious organizations take their exit interview data, but we take it quite seriously. So it was during an exit interview where I thought, and reading this article, that was like, what if you got this information sooner? What if you conducted stay interviews, the literal opposite of an exit interview? So we piloted it years ago at BAM, and we've done it every year since. I'll share a little bit of the 2025 data because we haven't done our 2026 stay interviews. But essentially, you're kind of asking the same questions. You're kind of asking like, what lights you up, right? Or where are things lacking? What resources don't you have? What do you need? What support do you need right now? How is your relationship with your manager? When is the last time you thought about leaving and what prompted it? And I'm curious, I'm going to ask you this question because I do share this in almost every stay interview and almost everyone that I have. But what do you think people will point to or say is the number one reason they've thought about leaving a job? Like, what prompted someone to think about leaving a job? What would you say is the number one reason people say that is?
My guess would be security.
Mm,
That would be my guess.
paycheck?
I mean, right now in a world where there's so many layoffs and there's 300,000 Black women that have left the job, security in that sense. And
Yeah.
then secondary, I would say that they don't trust the people that they work with.
Ooh. Yeah. They do say like people make or break work. You leave work because of the people, you stay at work because of the people. So the real reason, the number one reason people point to in the last time they thought about leaving their job is a coworker left. They either terminated, left on their own terms, or was asked to leave. That is the number one reason people will sort of self-reflect and go, oh shit, like, do I want to be here? Is it time for me to consider leaving? So you would think it would be the stability, the paycheck, it's usually if someone that they know or is close to them leaves the company.
I was going to ask because it's someone that's close to them.
Yeah. And something that's really interesting at BAM, and we can probably touch on this a little more, of all the reasons that people stay at an organization, and you and I maybe can point to. I'd love to hear like what keeps you here. What's the like top reason, maybe 1 to 2 reasons that you stay after 7 years, and I'll share mine after 9. But traditionally, and it's really interesting to kind of see this shift at BAM, especially with what's happening with access and resources and learning with AI. But traditionally, the number one reason folks would point to staying at BAM was learning and development. We're really, really good at offering those opportunities. You were just asking me about that stipend, right? Which stipend was it that we have that you're asking about?
I think we changed the name, but we had it always be learning.
Yeah.
At first.
And you've used that a couple times, haven't you?
Oh yes, I have. and you can use it in the ways that you see fit. I took a voiceover class.
I remember that. I remember.
How to speak better and get my emotions across, and if something was going to be really exciting and there was an agency to something, like learn how to depict that with my voice and with my cadence, and it helped out a lot.
Oh, I'd say you have an incredible speaking voice and command and presence. And I mean, you do that's like just a huge part of what you do is public speaking, orating.
Yes, yes. There's a lot of conversations, and honestly, there's a lot of times where I miss, and so
Mm.
taking a class like that, it helped me develop that emotional balance with the voice and the words, and really being intentional with how I'm using my voice and my tone and the words that I use, because it's so important, especially when you're at a workplace. Uh, there's so many complex things that are happening.
Okay, what I want to ask then is what what's the benefit? Like how what is the benefit of a company being willing to put money into you deciding how you want to learn and grow? What does that give you at a company? And why do you think that's one of the number one reasons over the years we see at BAM that people point to staying?
Because the company, at least BAM, is so comfortable with helping you grow. It feels like other jobs stint your growth, and they want you to stay at a certain place. And BAM is so bold that we say, you know what? If you want to learn something, we're not only going to encourage you, we're going to give you a stipend so that you could learn and elevate yourself. And I've always seen it as, we talk a lot about the future of work when it comes to work made human. BAM is looking at the future of how the workplace is going to be. And I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking about college and those different type of pipelines where it's almost like, and I think Brenda's a great example of this, like going straight into the workplace. I know she went to college, but this was her first job.
Yeah.
She's been here since the beginning, or
Yeah. Truly, she has. Yeah.
do it. I feel like in the future, uh, youth will go straight into jobs and they'll be paid to also learn
Yeah.
evolution, and BAM being in the future of working, not just talking about it, but saying, you know what, I just read this article that talks about the direction of where the workplace is going to go. Let's implement it.
Yeah.
Just watch this thing, and this is where the future is going to go. It might be 3, 4, 5 years from now, but let's start to find ways to implement it. I think that the employees that are here, speaking for myself, we respect that innovation, and if the company can speak in that way and act in that way, I know I can make those choices to say, you know what, uh, I want to be in the future of work, and then also take the action to make that happen.
It speaks to exactly I would assume the fear that you had when you looked at a scripts or somewhere and you thought, I don't want to be here for 20, 30 years. I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to be stagnant. I don't want to be limited. It feels like there's like, yeah.
Same emotion over
That. And so that's where I think work of a lifetime with people of a lifetime, if as an organization, as a founder or leader, you can tap into what your people want by asking them what keeps them, why do you stay here, what would make you want to stay here, all of those good questions, juicy questions, and then actually do those things. And that's the gift of the stay interview is year after year, we get the top 10 reasons, and we really like focus on those top 3. And we're like, okay, it's learning and development. It's our people and culture. And that's where then we're going to pour into. And so year after year, when our people are telling us how valuable it is to them that they can learn and grow here, not just in one lane, not just in this is what you do. Like you want to take voiceover lessons, great. That's going to benefit you at BAM. It's going to benefit you outside of BAM. And again, I think the future of work is not only looking at a person through one lens. Like you really do have to holistically look at the whole human. And that I believe is where an organization goes so right when they honor a whole human. And that's not easy to do. Like you're risking too, when you're allowing people to learn and grow and you're encouraging that, you're risking that they're going to leave you. They're
Yeah.
going to want to go on and move on. So it's a big risk as well. But interestingly enough, we're seeing the benefits where people are staying much longer the more we encourage them to expand and learn, which
Yeah.
is
And it's a great reflection of freedom. You don't want to keep
yeah.
birds caged. You want your employees, you want the birds to be able to fly into the sky and evolve.
Yeah. So let me ask, what's different about the Ramel who joined BAM almost 7 years ago, more than 7 years ago, versus the Ramel who's at BAM today?
Oh, uh, oh gosh, just not only giving myself grace, but giving myself actions with the grace.
Hmm.
And I'll say the example of I'm not the best person when it comes to grammar.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm moving too fast. Maybe I'm not paying enough attention. But being at BAM, it's something that I was encouraged to do, and I was given the tools. Whether Beck is like, you know what, I'm seeing your work, and this is this book that can show you how to
Been there.
grammar.
Yeah.
Okay, you've been there too.
Yeah.
You're a communications firm.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking,
Yeah.
writing, that's really important here at BAM. And
So she had radical candor with you, which we can talk about in just a second, but she had some radical candor with you about when you first joined, like, hey, let's talk about your grammar. Let's talk about your writing.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, she had to sit down with me, and I honestly empathize with people that are in management. I've been in those certain positions before too. It's not fun
No,
to tell people things about
no,
themselves. You
it's
don't
not.
know how they're going to react, and as an employee, you have to be able to uh, have those conversations where you understand and empathize. So I empathize with her. I was like, especially this is a communications firm. Thank you so much for even letting me know
Yeah.
about this. And we set up a plan where I could get better with my grammar. And before that, it was something that I was just trying to. I was trying to move so fast.
Yeah.
I was trying to move so fast that it was making things more confusing,
Yeah.
and it made things actually move slower.
Yeah.
So
And what about now? Do you feel like that shifted something for you? Do you feel like that helped the way that you receive feedback or just the way that you operate? Did it change anything for you?
oh, it changed literal things and I guess metaphorical things. First off, I think you helped me set it up where you can do undo on
Yes.
email.
Best thing ever.
It's-
Best thing ever. Like, I don't know. Let me check. Yeah.
if your intuition tell you just a little bit,
Undo. You just do it. You do it. You give yourself that 10 seconds and you
yeah,
hit undo. Yeah.
yes, and then I'll say fix the name. The name might be a different name. It's just attention to detail
Yeah.
in certain supreme ways, but also the meditations that you do, and
Um,
and the slowing down. There's an encouragement to slow down. I forget how Beck says it, but it's very much in the.
you gotta go slow to go fast. Move slow to go fast. Or wait, go. What is it again?
I
Wait,
think that's it. Move slow to
move
go
slow to
fast.
go fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
And
you're gonna have to.
she is the. I mean, she goes as fast as they go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was a big change, and I think that's not just writing, but it's just taking my time and
Yeah.
being intentional.
Well, and for me, to that in that same vein, for me, I changed careers when I came to BAM, and yeah, we're a communications firm. I was not a writer. I didn't study writing. I didn't study English like that. I mean, I've been sending emails, and text messages and writing in my journal, but I wasn't a grammar aficionado.
Yeah.
And I had similar feedback from Beck when I joined BAM very early on. And it was like a shock to me because it had been so long since I had someone criticize something about me, right? It was critical feedback, but it felt like I was being criticized. And something we also talk about, which has been, I will say this has been one of the biggest shifts for me. And this was kind of the first time it happened when Beck gave me this radical candor. She's like, let me have you read this book on grammar. I want to check all your emails before you send them out.
Yeah.
Because I was sending emails to the whole team. And my initial reaction when she first gave this to me, I'm a grown adult. I've been working for years. I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. I was like, I wanted to crawl out of my skin. I was like, but very, very quickly. So that was my reaction, right? Human, normal reaction that all of us have. We're humans. But very quickly, I was able to go from that reaction to my emotionally intelligent response of, wow, how cool that this woman cares. Like, she's investing in me. This is not an attack on my character. This is not an attack on me at all. This is just, hey, welcome to this organization. These are the things we prioritize. Here's how we operate. I want to get you up to speed, do this and go. Like, what a fucking gift to have someone who cares about your development. And that's what the highlight was. I was like, oh, wow, I haven't been somewhere where someone actually cares about how I'm growing and developing. And that shift, me being able to go from shame and embarrassment and, oh my gosh, I'm a loser to what a gift, that has been just life-changing for me, really, truly. And we talk about that a lot, reacting versus responding. That's a powerful tool that I'm grateful to BAM for, and our radical candor, constant feedback, because we get, there's a lot of feedback that happens at BAM, and you've got to be able to see it as the gift that it is, or it will just crush you here.
Yes. Yeah. Radical candor, that movement of having care.
Yeah.
Before
Care and challenging directly. You're going to challenge someone. You're going to offer some constructive information or challenge their idea, but you do it with care, and it's felt. Yeah.
Yeah. And once you have that those are things that make you want to stay in a space. And people want to work with people that they like, that they enjoy, that are helping and challenging them at the same time too.
Yeah. Before we wrap this up, I'm going to look at our questions here. Ooh. Okay, let me see here. What's something life taught you that made you better at work? Or who are you becoming because you've worked at BAM? Which one do you want? So either something life taught you that made you better at work, or who have you noticed yourself becoming because of work?
Ooh. I guess who I'm becoming because of work is someone that pays a lot more attention to detail. I'm coming from the creative space, a lot of artists, and so we're not the ones that we despise admin. That's the third. And I've grown an affinity towards admin.
I know. Every time you're like, I kind of like this stuff. And I don't know how many times I've said this to you, but I'm like, the minute you are an expert at admin, we have failed you because you are such a creative, and your talents are so broad, and they don't ever need to be that. But you start to like it now because you see that. Yeah.
It's creative. It's a nice break. It's almost like a fidget spinner.
Yeah. And there's organization to it. There's like structure to it. Whereas art can so often be so fluid and, not necessarily in your control all the time, right? But the admin, there's a structure. It's operational. Yeah.
Yes. It's almost like math.
Yeah.
What about for yourself?
So I would even say it was so interesting, just as you and I were talking before we started recording, but this whole home repair in my dad's house and dealing with the contractors, I noticed a level of command and a level of like, I have an effectiveness. So I feel like I now know how to be effective. I know how to speak with confidence. I know how to question things. I also I don't have time for the bullshit or wasted energy. Beck is so efficient. That Beck, our CEO, she is just all about, what do we need to know? How do we get it done? Let's do cool shit. Let's make it matter. Let's not waste our time. And so that's something that I feel like I now am so good at, making sure that when I'm going to use my energy, it's worthwhile and it matters, versus just kind of flailing around. And I don't know that I was flailing. Actually, no, I was flailing before. So there's an intentionality with my energy, with my words, with my time, that I would attribute completely to being at BAM and learning from everyone, and specifically learning from Beck, for sure. Awesome. Ramel, thank you so much for being my co-host today on Work Made Human. We miss you, Nicole Mendez, and we're so excited for you to come back. But it has been a pleasure to get to talk to you today about BAM and work and being human and why we stay, and just some of the cool tools that you can implement that keeps work progressive and keeps you growing and learning, and what a gift that is if you have a company that prioritizes those things.
Absolutely. It's a gift, and it's a gift to talk to you about this too.
You as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Peace.